In the previous class, we have learned about the definition for land use pattern in different countries, classification of land as private and CPRs, human encroachment, land degradation, and land conservation measures. Today, we will learn about another important natural resource which is much associated with land, that is soil.
What is soil? Soil is a grainy substance that covers the earth's surface. So I'll repeat, soil is a grainy substance that covers the earth's surface. I have already said soil is a resource which is much associated or very closely related with land. Let's see these pictures. We can see land found on the earth in different forms is mountains, plains, plateaus and valleys. And these mountain, plains, plateaus and valleys have a common name as landforms. Okay, and these landforms determines the type of soil in different places. So that is, the type of soil which is available in the mountainous region will be different from the type of soil which is available in the plains or in the valley regions. Now let's see some of the important different types of soil which is found in different parts of the earth.
Types of soil: alluvial soil, black soils, red soil, laterite soil, mountain soil, and desert soil.
Now let's see the components of soil. Soil is made up of organic matter, then minerals, then weathered rock which is found on the earth. Okay, weathered rock. And what is this weathered rock? So before that we will see like what is weathering. Okay, weathering, like it is a breaking up of exposed rocks by temperature changes or frost action or because of the actions of plants, animals and even men. Okay, so a big parent rock, it is getting fragmented or being made into small pieces, and again this pieces again it breaks and it becomes tiny particles as soil. So this way the soil is forming. Okay, now look at the picture of this soil profile which is given in your textbook itself.
In the bottom you can see the parent rock, so that is shown in gray color. So there you can see some rocks and all, right? That's marked. Then the yellow part, it shows the weathered rock material. So the formation of soil have started here at this stage. Okay, then you can see subsoil with sand, silt and clay. So there almost the soil has formed. There the material will be more or the soil will be more sandy, silty and clay. Okay, and above the subsoil you will see the most fertile soil part over the humus, the top soil with humus and vegetation. And what is this humus? It is the organic matter which is present at the top of the soil and which is very much required for the fertility, to maintain the fertility of the soil too.
The right mix of minerals, organic matter or humus and a proper aeration, which means the circulation of air is required to make the soil fertile. Now you will be thinking sometimes, if a person live in a rented apartment, or a person live in a city or in a town, and if that person wish to do cultivation, and from where he will get fertile soil, right? So just see those pictures, you will get the solution for your question. Yes, the soil is available in the online marketplace too today. You know, it takes hundreds of years to form a centimeter, 1 centimeter of soil thickness naturally. Okay, just imagine how slowly the soil formation process is happening. Now let's see the factors of soil formation. The major factors of soil formation which are given in your textbook are, first one is the nature of parent rock, and second one you can see it is relief or topography, third one plants, animals and microorganisms, then fourth one climatic conditions, and fifth one is time. But you have to remember these factors responsible for the soil formation differ from place to place. Now let's see more in detail about the factors responsible for the soil formation.
First one is the parent rock. The parent rock determines the color, texture, chemical properties, mineral composition, then the content and permeability of the soil. Okay, mostly like the color of the parent rock and the soil will be same, and whatever chemical or whatever mineral contents were there in the parent rock will be there in the formed soil too. And here is a new term, permeability of soil. So parent rock also determines the permeability of the soil too. Now what is this permeability of the soil? Permeability of the soil means it is a property of the soil to transmit air and water. Then second one you can see relief or topography. As you know, like the soil found in mountainous region will be different from the soil that is found in the plains or in valleys. Okay, and the altitude and slopes determine the accumulation of the soil, it is it. So it is nothing but in higher altitudes or in slopes the accumulation of the soil will be less. Okay, whereas in valleys and plains the accumulation of the soil will be more. Okay. The soil will be eroded from the higher altitudes or slopes, and it will get accumulated or deposited in the valleys and plains, right? Then next one is flora, fauna and microorganism. So this affect the rate of humus formation. So what is flora? Plants, fauna, animals and the microorganism. So wherever the presence of plants, animals and microorganisms is there, so there the rate of humus also will be more. Okay, then the next factor which determines soil formation is time. Time determines the thickness of the soil profile. Okay, so the thickness of the soil profile will be more, or it will be more thick with more of time. Then next is climate. Temperature, rainfall influence rate of weathering and humus. Okay, and because of higher temperature or higher rainfall, more of weathering will happen, and also it is said that for having organic matter in the soil. Rain is required, right?
So now we will discuss something about the degradation of soil. So as a resource, soil is also facing threats such as soil erosion, then soil depletion and all. Okay, and who are the reason for this? Both human and natural factors are responsible for the degradation of soil. Let us see some of the factors responsible for the soil degradation. The first one is afforestation. Then you can see overgrazing. Then you can see overuse of chemical fertilizers and pesticides. Then rainwash, and then you can see landslides and floods. So, being a very valuable resource, there is a need to conserve this precious resource too, right? Now, let's see some of the methods of soil conservation.
First one is mulching. The bare ground between plant is covered with a layer of organic matter like straw, mostly rice straw and all, or dry grass. It helps to retain soil moisture. Here you can see in this picture, in between the cultivation or the crop, rice straw is laid. Why it is done? To retain the soil moisture. Next one is contour barriers. Contour means the lines connecting same heights. Okay, so here of the same heights, stone, grass, soil are used to build barriers along the contours, and trenches are made in front of the barriers to collect water. Here you can see with mud and grass, contours are made, or the trenches, barriers are contour barriers are made. So near to that, some pits or trenches are made. For what it is made? To collect water, and this actually retain the soil moisture, and also it regulates the flow of water. And next one is rock dam. So it is a dam made up of rocks. So here what is done is like the rocks are piled up to slow down the flow of water, and this prevents gullies in further soil loss. So soil erosion will not happen so easily if rock dams are constructed. Then next one is terrace farming. Here you can see how beautiful this picture is, right? So here the hill slopes are made into steps. So this are made on the steep slopes so that flat surface are available to grow crops. So they can reduce surface runoff and soil erosion. If this is done, like what will happen is like the water flow will be less, and this will not damage the agriculture. Then next one is intercropping, and it is the cultivation of different crops together. So here you can see different crops are grown in alternate rows and are sown at different times to protect soil from rainwash. If the land is simply bare, what will happen is like, so the soil will be more prone to soil erosion or rainwash. Then next one is contour ploughing. Ploughing parallel to the contours of a hill slope to form a natural barrier for water to flow down the slope. Here also the flow of water is regulated, hence the soil erosion is also checked to an extent. The next one you can see, it is mostly seen in the coastal and dry region to conserve soil and to prevent soil erosion. It is shelter belts. In the coastal and dry regions, rows of trees are planted to check the wind movement to protect soil cover. So like in coastal and dry region, the major agent of erosion is wind. Okay, so it is not that easy to cultivate or do cultivation near the coastal regions or and near other dry regions without this shelter belts. What will happen is, like, when more of wind comes, like, it will carry the sand and it will destroy it. It will be difficult for the crops to survive. Okay, and in this situation, shelter belts are a solution. Okay.
I'll conclude this part by adding a bit of general knowledge. Do you know when the World Soil Day is? The World Soil Day. Okay. You might not be knowing. So, the World Soil Day is on December 5th. The World Soil Day is on December 5th. Okay.